Hey everybody, out on the road again today, and I have come across another cemetery that I wanted to make a quick video of. If you watch my videos, you know that they're nothing super fancy. I try to be a little bit informative, but point out the interesting things that I see. This is one I pass quite a bit, this cemetery. This is called the Flat Rock Cemetery. It is in Shelby County, Kentucky. It's right across the street from the Kentucky Correctional Institution for Women in Shelby County, Kentucky. This cemetery, the earliest burials that they know about are from 1813. And this cemetery had fallen into disrepair. It was really overgrown, and the Shelby County Cemetery Preservation Board comes out now and arranges cleanup days, and there's volunteers that come out here. But I'll take you on a quick walk around. It's an interesting old cemetery. The earliest burial they know of is from 1813, and the last one is from the 1920s, if I believe. We'll get over there shortly. So this cemetery is right up on the road here. The prison's right across the street. I don't want to film a whole lot of that. They don't like when you do that. These stones here are pretty old. This is the original part. This is the oldest part of the cemetery. This was at one time affiliated with the Flat Rock Church, which sat over where this pile of brush is over here, was the church building at one time. I'll show you that area when we get over there in the walk here in just a little bit. Here's one of the more notable burials here. This gentleman, Harrison Wood, he was a veteran of the War of 1812, as you can see there. His stone is almost illegible. It's really hard to read. In fact, I can't read it all here. There's some techniques you can use to read a lot of these. You can take a really bright light, hold it off to the side. You can make tracings. There's all kinds of things you can do. You can find videos on how to do that. But I can't read it today, so I'll just keep pointing other stuff out. Some of these are just fieldstones with no names on them. Some of them, like this one over here, if you read this, just have some initials, nothing else. I'd say this is a child's grave by the size of the footstone and headstone. This cemetery is like a lot of them in the older times where there was a footstone. And I'll explain that again. I've explained it in some other videos, but headstone, footstone. There's about 2.5 to 3 feet between those two. The rest of these, almost to a T, are about 6 to 7 feet apart. So headstone, footstone, headstone, footstone. So you know exactly where the burial is. A lot of times footstones disappear for various reasons. They get in the way of mowing. People take them for whatever reason. But this one is pretty well preserved for as old as it is, and the kind of neglect it faced. Here's a neat old stone. It's hard to believe that all this could be hand carved back in the day. Here's an interesting thing here. Let me see if this shows up on camera. You can see this cutout. So there was a mistake made, and they cut out a little rectangle and kept on carving into it. I can't quite make out what that says, but there was a correction in the stone. And you see that from time to time in really old headstones. That's interesting. There's a design in this one. I don't know if it really shows up well. Yeah, there you go. It's kind of a diamond shape. You got this line going across. It delineates between the date and the name and whatever the epitaph is. I can't read that. Anyway, we'll keep moving along. Someone has been out here weed eating. It has been mowed this year. When I'm filming this, we're in the end of August 2025. So if someone hadn't mowed, this would be up to my waist. A lot of these are illegible. Here's an interesting thing. Somebody's made repairs on this. I don't know what they did this with. Seems to be some sort of epoxy. It's hard as a rock. I do a lot of restoration work. That's the business that I'm in. And I've restored several cemeteries. I don't know what this is. It's some sort of an epoxy. I've never seen anyone use this. I don't really recommend it. You see how it's run down there. It's kind of ruined the stone. The best intentioned people sometimes do the most damage when they're restoring cemeteries. But at least somebody cared enough to not just leave stones laying on the ground and try to do something with them. So let's keep moving over this way. You can see there's this line of stones here. There's a pull around here at one time. I've seen it in the fall, you can see it when there's no foliage. There's like a little loop. You can pull a vehicle in and turn around. I don't know how old it is, but it's inlaid. It's been there a long time. All these stones are very old. Here's another one, kind of rough carved. Look, they put this one back together. It's still missing a big chunk. I think that's a footstone. Yeah. If whoever's buried here, that's their footstone. Like most old cemeteries, all these people are buried facing east. So, well, most of them. Right now I'm facing west, but the decedent here is facing east. Not all of them are that way, but I'd say 90% of them in this cemetery are that way. 1869, 1879. Let's see this one. 1877. I'm sure there's quite a few in here that you can't see or that don't exist anymore or have fallen and are under the ground. Here's one from 1905. So over here's where the church building was. I haven't been able to find out a whole lot about the building or the congregation. I could do a little more research, but I don't know if I will before I post this video. So it's easier to see in the fall, but there is a rectangular shape here. There are foundation stones. There's one at my feet. You can see there's a corner here, so it goes up over, that's a corner, and comes this way. And the ground here is mounded. It goes up and over. And they've been using this area to dump brush in, whoever cleans up and whatnot. You got to put it somewhere, I guess. So there it is. It would be interesting to have an archaeologist come in here and see what they could find under this old church portion. So here we come over here. This is a little bit newer area of the cemetery, still quite old, but this was a little bit newer. Here's some old family stones. It's hard to say from a video, but I can tell you these stones are about 4 feet tall. Tall and thin. I'm sure these are quarried from local rock here in Shelby County somewhere. It's really cool. You can see the markings where they were quarried, these lines. And again, this one's too hard to read. I can read that they were aged 52 years. I can't read the days or the name. If you're interested in Find a Grave, you can find this place on there. I might put a link below in the video. I don't know why this area here was gated off. I don't know if all this is one family. If it is, it's just a separate part in the same cemetery, but there's a lot of people buried in here. Let's see. It's hard to read some of these names. Collins, there's one over here. So what you have on here are these type of stones. They have 4 sides to them. So this is where footstones also came to be an important thing. So here's one here. There's one leaning against there. There's one over there. Let's see if there's a name on this side. No, there's no name on this side of the stone. But 3 sides of this stone, there are footstones. So there are burials here. Typically it would be at the head of each of these, and you go out to the foot. But sometimes what you'll have is a stone like this, and then you'll see a line of footstones, you know, lined up, and that's just the one stone naming all the family members, and then there would be initials in the footstone, so you know who'd be buried there. It's hard to tell. Like I said, this cemetery was in a lot of disrepair and just neglect for many years until they decided to come clean it up, some volunteers. Unfortunately and sadly, a lot of these cemeteries are lost. You'll be out in the woods and just find them. Family's gone. There's no one left to remember these people or take care of the land. It changes hands and it's just gone. More modern stone, but 1889. I know the camera's jumpy, sorry, I'm just kind of holding it out in front of me as I walk here. Trying to avoid the sticks and holes in the ground and the poison ivy that's all over. 1840. Here's an interesting stone. Looks like a piece is missing off the top here. You can see there was something here on the top is flat. So somewhere if you rooted around in the ground here, you'd probably find the top piece of that. Oh look, here's one from 1957. I'd say that's probably the newest one here. I thought it was the 20s, but last time I checked the records, I couldn't remember. It's been a couple years since I've been here and looked at the records. And that, I don't know for sure if this is a burial or not. Must be. Sometimes you just have an epitaph. It's a memorial marker for someone that's not necessarily buried there. Let's go over here. Cemeteries can tell you a lot about an area. If you're into history, the names. Collins here. That is you see that name on a lot of roads in this area of Shelby County, Kentucky, and far eastern Jefferson County, Kentucky. The Collins family were early settlers, and this one dates to 1957. They were early settlers to this area, and by the time you have extended family, this area was considered rural until just about a decade ago, and they started putting subdivisions further and further out, and not so rural anymore. But the names were named after the farmers who lived around the areas the roads went through. So Collins is a very popular name here. There's some over here I can't get to. It's grown up. You see that tree fell right there. Massive, massive tree. If you come here in the wintertime and there's no grass and the leaves are down, you can see there are several headstones behind that tree. I think there's a couple under it now. Here's one from 1921. It's hard to see back behind that tree. I know there are some over there. I've looked at them in the past. I'll walk around and see if I can see them. You don't see a lot of these in this era, in this part of the county. This stone above ground covers a grave. They were very expensive and very hard to make and move in the 1800s. So I imagine whoever this is was a fairly prominent person with a lot of money to be able to afford this at the time. They're a little more common in urban cemeteries of the 1800s, but in rural ones, you just didn't see as much of this. So this is a bit unusual. So whoever lies here probably is one of the more prominent landowners in the area, but I don't see any other stones here. In fact, the ground here is raised and disturbed, like a tree fell here at one time, or some dirt's been dumped here at one point in time. There's a headstone right by the road. See it there? And then what you'll notice is the road is cut out right next to that headstone. There's a ditch right there. It wasn't always like that. This road was cut. I don't know when they did it to build the road, but it was cut out. And who knows, maybe they took a few folks with it that were buried here, maybe not. There are other stones back in there. I'm not going back in there today. This pile of dirt here is about 4 feet tall. It's hard to see. Maybe about 3 feet tall, but the weeds have overtaken it. So I don't know how that got here, but it's fresh dirt. It's full of gravel and stones. I don't know if the highway department moved that here when they're repaving the road or not. They did move some of the stone around the entrance. I'll show you that. This tree is massive. This is more than 7 feet wide. This is really cool. Anyway, you can see that stone on the side of the drive. There used to be one here on that side. Well, all that stone is now right here. This wall is still intact. So when they came and built this road, it's brand new asphalt. This concrete wasn't here a couple years ago. This is all new. It looks like they went ahead and bulldozed that out of the way and moved it over here behind this wall, which is sad. I know we have to have roads and access, but it's just sad to see. So you can see that ditch where I was just a minute ago with that headstone right next to it. See if I can walk down there real quick. This road's not too busy, but it's also not a country road anymore. There's that headstone right there. Can you see it? Anyway, it's right there. Hiding out right there. See it? And about 4 feet away is the road. Let's see if there's any more that we can see. No, it's pretty grown up. I know there's more there. I've seen them in the past. A few of them got hit by the tree when it fell. I don't see any more of them. And actually, you can see a property marker there for the neighboring property, and that's where the cemetery ends. But that's about it. I'm gonna walk back up to the entrance here, if I can do it without getting run over. And that will conclude this video. If you want to check it out, again, it's called the Flat Rock Cemetery. Oh wait, I just found something else of interest. Look here. See that? That is a stone that has been worked. It's quarried. Just laying right there. So I'd say that's part of the, that's probably a grave or a headstone. It's about 7 feet long. Yeah. There's parts of a wall over here. It's funny what you find when you look around. I've been here many times and never really noticed this. Was gonna end my video, but I guess I'm gonna keep going. Parts of the original wall right there. I'll end this when I get back up to the driveway. I think that's going to be it, folks. Again, thanks for watching my videos, and as always, have a great day.